deployed right.
Hi. Good evening, Sean Gleason from AFP. My question's to Mr. Mara and Mr. Mitra. You've both touched on supply chain considerations for the 5G rollout, specifically semiconductors, which there's been numerous supply chain issues globally since the pandemic. There's been production halts on consumer goods, for example. I know India is trying to build up its indigenous manufacturing capacity for semiconductors, but Mr. Marawa, you mentioned that we could expect the world's fastest rollout for years 5G. Do either of you foresee any potential disruptions or problems otherwise from the lack of availability of semiconductors in the rollout?
So, I would be wrong if I say that there is no supply chain problem. The problem still exists, and the problem will remain for some more time. Yes, it has eased off, and it has become better than what it was 1 year back. Having said that, like I said, a lot of manufacturing of whatever is being supplied and installed in India for creating 5G networks is now happening within the country. So whether it's us or the others like us who are supplying most of the 5G gear is being manufactured. We as a company and other companies also see that the potential and volume in India is extremely, and actually we anticipated this already coming because we knew the auction was going to happen and we knew the rollouts were going to happen. So a lot of planning has already gone. So to your question, I think there is enough that we have done in order to secure that material will be available in India, which can be installed to make India have the 5G, fastest rollout of 5G in the world.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, to add to Amit's point, is that the semiconductor problem that we are trying to solve is not a short problem. It's a longer problem which requires much deeper engagement, which is what the government, I think, has shown by putting together the policy around it. It will not get solved overnight. It will take time to create fabs. It doesn't get done overnight. And therefore, the time it takes, it will take. But the fact that we are now sort of seeing these things coming together, and we'll start to see a complete ecosystem develop in India, is the direction that we see extremely encouraged about. The software capability, the hardware capability, and the electronics capability all coming together.
Sorry, I wonder if the minister would have something to add, because I'm going to, this is getting
So first of all, I just want to put this out for you to understand. When we talk about semiconductor supply chain disruptions, there is almost an assumption that semiconductor supplies were disrupted and therefore fewer semiconductor supply, which is not the fact. What has happened is semiconductor production actually grew by 13% last year. But the demand post-COVID, because of the accelerated pace of digitization and demand for digital products, has been outpacing the supply of semiconductors. So it is in a sense a myth or a fallacy to believe that there have been some temporary disruptions on semiconductors. What has happened is a permanent increase in the demand of digital products and services and the pace of digitization. And the numbers are out there. If you just calculate the production and the volumes, you will see that 22 over 21 represented a 13% growth in semiconductor volumes. So what we are seeing today is an almost irreversible digitization intensity trend. And things like 5G and the proliferation of IoTs into agriculture, education, health, and these huge mini ecosystems that are going to develop around the core network are going to only increase the demand of semiconductors. And then on top of it, if that wasn't challenging enough, then you have the digitization of the automobile, you have more and more silicon going into cars, and so therefore this digitization of our ecosystem is today at an unprecedented pace.
Pallav Bagla. I'm a science and technology journalist, and the question is to the minister. I don't quite understand. You're giving me 10 to 20 times slower speed on 5G. I'm used to 200, 300, 800 speeds, and you're creating a hype about it. But what are we celebrating? That's the first question to you. The second question to you is, there's also the hype around satellite-based internet connectivity, especially after the OneWeb launch. So is the government also excited about this satellite-based internet? And the last question, and probably which is the most newsy one, can you tell us, in all of this hype, the biggest hospital of the country, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, had a ransomware attack thanks to the server that's controlled by the National Informatics Center, and the whole hospital went down. I mean, this is bizarre.
So you're determined to make this a difficult evening for me. But here's the
Simple question.
This is a tame compared to what I have to deal with. Look, the rated performance and the design capabilities of 5G versus what operators give you is an issue that you should take up with the operators, the TSPs, the telecom operators. It is clear that 5G is a far superior technology, and when architected and designed well, will give you throughputs, bandwidths that are far superior to 4G. Now, if your service provider is not doing that and is giving you an inferior service, my suggestion is please call up their call center, call their customer relationship manager, and give them a mouthful that you just gave me. Second is on the issue of look, satellite connectivity. Am I excited about it? Of course I'm excited, and I'll tell you why. It is our mission in the government to make sure that every Indian is connected to the net. We want 1.3 billion Indians to be hooked up to the net. We want India to become the largest connected nation in the world. And there are clearly areas where traditional wireless and traditional broadband do not reach. And therefore, satellite is part of the mix, whether it is OneWeb or Starlink or anybody. Satellite connectivity is a fallback, is a plan B. It is a internet in areas where no other technology can go type of a solution, and it is absolutely very essential in a country as diverse and vast and remote, with so many remote communities as India, that satellite is part of the mix. And yes, I confirm to you that I am excited, not necessarily party to the hype, but I am excited about satellite internet. On the third, on ransomware. Now, ransomware is neither a unique phenomenon to India, nor is it going to be the first ransomware attack. These are issues. There are very sophisticated games that are being played on the site, on the internet, and I never stopped saying that the internet for many years, and I was involved in the early stages of the internet, and we all lived in this utopia that the internet was a force for good, and people will hug each other and message each other, and we will live happily ever after. And the last 5 years have shown that there is considerable criminality, there is user harm, there is a whole world of harm and evil and criminality that exists on the internet, and governments and institutions are playing catch up in that to a large extent. So, notwithstanding your dislike for NIC, I can assure you there are a very hard working bunch of people out there who take every breach and every obligation of data management or indeed managing a system very, very seriously. But like they say in terrorism, we have to be right all the time, and it takes the bad guys only one time to be right for them to get through the breach and breach the defenses that we have. But that does not in any way indicate that we don't have defenses, that we are not doing our job, or the NIC is not doing their job. There are many smart people. We believe we are smart people, but there are smart people who are out there to prove every day that they are smart.